Okay, I have returned after my humiliating failure at the hands of the out of control fire. Um, I have set up the scenario again. I remembered to shuffle all the decks this time, and when I rebuilt my decks, I got rid of one of my immolation cards so I could replace it with a another chill Netflix and chill card. So hopefully this one's going to be a little better. I'm not planning on recording the whole thing, but I may record some key moments, and I'll tune back in when when I think I have it in the bag. Hopefully this time it will be a success. Okay, I believe we've reached the conclusion of the scenario, so I thought I'd get you back in on the action. So basically, Yoon has fallen into a quicksand pit again. Everybody's gathered around the brickworks, and it's the final open location, and we just revealed the Ifriti on Tup's turn, and he's got a corrosive dagger. So, and he's also got lots of other stuff he's going to try to play on this check, so it should be success. It took us a few turns to get rid of the conflagration that was here, that was preventing us from winning. We actually encountered the Ifriti several times, but since we can't close the location while the conflagration is there, we had to deal with that first, unfortunately. Okay, so he's going to use the corrosive dagger. He's going to use the recharge ability to use his dexterity, which is a d8 plus 1, plus a d4 plus 1, plus another d4 and the acid trait. So that is 2 d4s and a d8 plus 2. In addition, he's going to call upon his Osirian ancestor and add 1d6 and the cold, magic, and undead traits to his check against a card that has the outsider or undead trait. So he's adding another d6 plus the cold trait in case that matters. In addition, it is not done. He's going to recharge a Blessing of the Elements. So that is a total of another d8. And let's see if Estra has anything she's going to do. Nope, that is it. And that ought to kill the thing. If it does not, I will be very unlucky. But this is a basically +2 to this entire check. And let's see, an average of 4, 8, 10, 12, 13 on the dice. +2, I ought to make it. I mean, I wish I could get myself just one more, but I don't think there's anything he can do. So let's try it. This ought to be good. This'll work. Oh, okay, those are some low numbers, but let's see. 7, 10, and then 14, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, baby. The Ifriti has been banished back to the elemental plane of fire. And then Yoon, so thank goodness I'm back from this dry quicksand. This is going to go back into Estra's hand, and we will close this location and end the scenario. Alright, now that we've succeeded, we will receive our reward, which is a new trader to add to the trader list. The Smiths of Wati. Smiths of Wati offers weapons at a cost of 2 boons. Oh, so you're looking to raid the necropolis. Of course you are, like so many before you. Did you know that the supplies of skeletons are replenished with those of unprepared adventurers? It is truth. Now, you would not like to be among those undead, I take it. Then you will need well-forged weapons. Thankfully, these we have. I don't know why I thought he might have that accent, but that is the accent that I gave him. So I'm going to add him to my trader list. The Smiths of Wati. Excellent. And then it's time for everybody to visit the traders. So let's see. This might be the perfect time to get some new weapons. I'm pretty sure I have the majority of the good spells. Let me take a look through the spells. I don't have that one. But yeah, I have pretty much all the spells that I want right now. So I'm not going to go for spells. I will go for items and weapons. And since we can carry a total of whopping 3 weapons between the entire group, we will have, let's see, this is my first opportunity to get weapons. We will have Yoon and Tup, the 2 who can carry weapons, visit the Smiths of Wati, while Estra visits Falsen Deek. Where did I put the rest of the cards? She's going to visit Falsen Deek and look at some items. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, let me shuffle this. By the way, if you're wondering why it seems like I don't shuffle these decks, I do in between every scenario. Otherwise, I feel it's too much shuffling. So we're going to reveal 3. 1, 2. Ooh, very nice. And 3. This is the only one that I care about, because these 2 require me to be proficient with weapons. Now, I could gain weapon proficiency right now, because as part of the reward for completing the entire adventure, everybody gets a power. But I don't think I'm going to do that as my first power. So it would be a waste to do it now. Alright, and the items. Okay, not necessarily great. Although this might be nice to have, the Flash Freeze. I liked having that in his deck last time. So let's see. I'm sure she's just going to give up some simple blessings. Yep. All right. She's going to pay these 2 blessings and get the Flash Freeze. This gets discarded. And then we definitely want the Ginny Quarterstaff. Yeah, we'll go for it. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually going to end up keeping it or not. But, I mean, for cost of 2 blessings that I can immediately get back after the scenario, I think that's worth it. So he's taken the Ginny Quarterstaff. And then, that's Trader's done. And it's time to gain powers. Actually, I should have gained powers first and then done Traders, but Alright, let's see what powers we're going to get. Okay, most of these choices are pretty darn easy for me right now. For Tup, I'm going to get this power, which really, really changes his character. For when you banish a spell from your hand, not for its power, for instance, if I used it for my combat check to get this arcane skill plus 1d8, then you may draw a spell from the box. So basically, suddenly, I have basically unlimited spells, because as soon as I banish a spell from my hand to use this arcane skill plus 1d8, I get a new spell. And I can use that next time. And I can keep doing that. I can keep banishing these spells over and over again and getting new cards. And that's also a very good way to get the new cards that are about to get shuffled into all these decks from adding Adventure 1. Oh, I'm very excited about adding Adventure Deck 1. That's probably the best part of this game, is when you shuffle in all those new adventure cards. Alright, for Estra, I'm going to change her discard a spell or blessing to reduce damage dealt to her into recharge a spell or blessing. So, slightly better. Although she might still be discarding spells, because she can use her husband, Onair, to get those back. And then for Yoon, I actually considered maybe I should get weapons, the weapons proficiency. But I think what I'm going to do is slightly increase her sort of alternative combat thing. So instead of instead of recharging a blessing to add fortitude and fire to your combat check, then discard any number of cards to add 1d6 for each card discarded. She now can add 1d8 for each card discarded. So as long as the enemy does not have immunity to fire, she can now make some very, very powerful attacks in Moment of Desperation. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty. So now it's time to rebuild these decks. Alright, so I thought I'd give you a little peek into my process here, how I deal with rebuilding the character decks between scenarios. So basically what I've done is I've sorted all of the character decks by card type. And then I'm going to go basically column by column. Unless there's something that really requires me to make like decisions about multiple cards in tandem, I just go column by column and I pick a number of cards allowed by each character. So I think I'm going to keep the Corrosive Dagger for Tup, because he doesn't have very good strength. He's got okay dexterity. Definitely getting rid of the Sling Staff. I don't really like that. And then I basically choose, is it better to have the Torch? Or is it better to have the Ginny Quarterstaff that I just got? And I can always get another Torch. It's a basic thing. So I'm going to go for the Ginny Quarterstaff. Although it's very nice to have a fire trait in my hand that I could just reveal. You didn't see it, but in that last scenario, I did a lot of revealing of that fire trait to cancel damage. So that was nice, but this is going to be a harder hitting type of weapon. It's a shame that it's a two-handed weapon, but okay. Alright, then we're going to go for spells. So Tup can handle 5. He's got 5. Estra can handle 6, and she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 1 extra. I don't really care for this Acute Senses spell, actually. I have not been getting much mileage out of it, so I'm going to remove that. And I might trade a card. So I've got 2 Holy Lights. I've got a Cure, Elemental Treaty, Remove Curse. Now, she's really good for dealing with spells in sort of alternative ways, so she's going to keep it like it is. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's got what he needs. Okay, now we deal with armors. Everybody's got 1 armor, so that's pretty much what they need. And I'm pretty happy with the armors that I've given to everybody. Especially this Armor of the Sands was useful in this last scenario to add 1d4 to your Arcane or Divine check. It was exactly how much I needed to defeat the Ifrit in one of the the Ifriti in one of the earlier encounters. All right, then I've got items. So Tup can hold 4. We're going to take this Alchemist Kit. I'm not going to keep the Potion of Energy Resistance. I definitely will keep the Potion of Healing. And I think I will keep the Acid Flask. And let's see what else everybody has, because there's actually... Oh, I definitely want the Flash Freeze, I believe. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty much what he can carry. I do like these Smoked Glass Goggles a lot. I'm going to keep those with Yoon, and she'll hold on to the Game of Afterlife as well. 1, 2. and that's as many as she can carry, so this magnifying glass is gone. And Estra has the same card. She's going to keep the same cards again. I don't think I need the magnifying glass. Alright. And then we get into allies, and this was an ally-heavy scenario, so there's going to be a lot. So, Tup can hold 2. I really do like this Osirian Ancestor, and I think I'm going to keep it with Tup. And then between Kafar and Dredge, definitely better to have Kafar because his spells are charisma based, and this adds 1d4 to your charisma checks during that exploration. But I'm going to hold on to Dredge because I might want him for another character. The Stained Glass Elemental is only going to get better with age, plus it's got the electricity trait. I got the Giant Slug this scenario, and it's got the Acid trait, so I definitely want that. So I've got 2 allies. I can hold up to 4. I'm going to go for the elements and do the Daba and the Shock Lizard, which means don't need these guys. Alright, finally we have Estra. Alright, so she's got a lot to choose from. She definitely needs Onair, and she can have up to 2 more, and there's a huge variety to choose from here. So we have Marianix Karn, who you can add 1 to your check to acquire a boon, or add 1d6 to your check to defeat a barrier. That's fairly good, and I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing a lot of barriers in the next scenario. Because I'm basically going to be exploring like a trapped tomb. So I'm going to keep her. Anything that's good with barriers might be good. And this says, recharge this card to add your diplomacy or stealth skill to your check to acquire a weapon, an armor, or an item. That's a very cool ability. And her diplomacy, if I remember correctly, is pretty good. It's a d10 plus 1. Okay, so we'll hold on to those guys, get rid of these. I liked the Dredge. I did like the Dredge a lot. But he'll be back. I like him because he lets you change out a boon for a different boon. So you don't like the boon that you randomly drew out of the location, you can recharge him and get a new one. And then finally we have blessings, and we're going to need to draw some out of the box. Yoon can have 7. So she's got the Blessing of Ra, the Blessing of Wadjet, I think she'll take the Blessing of Nethys after all. And then whatever else she's got. Tup definitely wants the Blessing of Pharasma. And basically we're going to distribute these other blessings evenly. So he can have 3. He likes the blessings of the elements. He's going to take those 3. She can have 4 more. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 there, and 1, 2, 3 there, and give them each an additional blessing of the elements. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So then I would shuffle all of these up, and I would normally get the locations out for the new scenario and set that up. But for now, I need to shuffle in all of the Adventure 1 stuff and get ready for brand new cards, brand new Banes. It's going to be very exciting, and brand new scenarios. So check that out in the next video. Oh yeah, that's all she wrote.